for life. Something that a book, something that a school could never have taught me. Life taught me.
I wake up 5:30, thank God I'm still alive. Start seeing flashing lights, I guess it's time to shine. It's time to start my day. First thing I do is pray. He says you make a way, just know you'll be okay.
Can you dig it, sucker?
It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, guys, and we ready to do this thing. We told you we had a very special show with a very special guest stepping inside the Hall of Fame to get a little bit of champagne wishes, man, a little caviar dreams. Welcome, O'Shea Jackson. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, what's going on with y'all?
What's going on, man? How you feel, dog? How you feel?
Everything good but the Lakers right now, so I'm chilling now.
Hey, man. Hey, but
They
you
could be
still-
the Rockets.
Yeah, but you still got to give it up for that boy LeBron James, man. You got to give it up. You know what I mean?
Man, I thank God for LeBron James every day, Booker T.
Hey, no, man. Again, man, I want to thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, and more importantly, man, I want to make you feel comfortable. I don't even want you to feel like this an interview or anything like this. We just conversate. All right, we just talking and chopping it up more than anything, man, because you definitely interesting, very, very interesting, especially as of late. Oh, man, I just want to get into, you know what? First of all, the love of the game of professional wrestling, man. How deep do that go, and how far back?
I've been a fan of wrestling since I was about maybe 4 or 5 years old. I got an older brother, and anybody who got an older brother knows a lot of the times they show you stuff that you're probably too young for because it's what they into. And and yeah, me and my older brother Daryl, my first taste of wrestling was actually an old WWF game for the Sega Genesis, and he would make me be the Undertaker, and he would be Shawn Michaels, and we would just cause havoc throughout that game. And from there, he was like, we could watch this. And that's going back to watching Raw, Attitude Era, some of the wildest things that I'd ever seen in my young life. And I was hooked, and from there, found WCW, got into that pretty heavy, and I just haven't looked back. There was obviously, as a passionate fan, there were times where I didn't like the product and I might have slowed down watching, but I always had an eye on it. It just, the feeling that it gives me, the energy that I get from watching these stories play out, or these major spots and events, it's unmatched. I used to call it my that's my soap opera. My grandma got her One Life to Live and her General Hospital.
Yeah.
All my children. I got Raw. I got Nitro. I got SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's just what I needed.
Yeah, man. That's like me when I got into wrestling. I always loved professional wrestling. Never in a million years did I dream that I would be one day. But I used to watch. I was a big fan of the Shaw Brothers Productions, which is karate movies. You know, they used to produce karate movies, and man, I used to leave those karate movies feeling like I was on top of the world. You know, I mean, somebody on the way to the bus. You know, on the way to the bus stop. You know, he's having fun, man. And I knew which ones made me feel good, and I knew which ones sucked. You know, I'm sure it's been like that with you in wrestling, right? As far as you know, honing in on that guy you liked. Who were some of the guys that you really gravitated to coming up?
I was a big fan of Rock. I was a pretty shy kid, and I didn't really, you know, I'm always been around the entertainment industry and going to premieres and you know being on movie sets, and you know a movie set is not fun when you're a kid. It's not like the best. It's a lot of just, you know, you're just sitting down waiting for dad to be done. And it's, you know, I was a quiet kid, and The Rock taught me to always have something to say. He always got some rebuttal, no matter what it is. I just never seen him get caught off guard. And that was just a life lesson that I took from professional wrestling. I know, you know, everybody around that time is a stone cold dude, but I don't know. I connected to The Rock the most, and I've listed him many times as one of my heroes because watching him help me break out of a shell that I had and kind of help mold me into who I am today, as you can see on Twitter.
Yeah, man.
You always got something to say on Twitter for sure.
You begging, man. You begging. You know what? That's one thing about the fans today. You know, it's kind of it's very, very tribal. You know, with WWE. You know, Impact fans don't get into it too much, but WWE and AEW fans, man, they're so one-sided or the other. And I don't think it was like that back in the day as much. I think people watch Raw, people watch, you know, SmackDown, people watch Nitro, people watch Thunder. What about you? Are you a fan of all wrestling? I mean, WWE, Japan, all of it?
I mean, I've seen clips here and there on TikTok, but I got a 6-year-old. I gotta go pick her up after this. I'm trying to get a Godzilla anime off the ground, plus being an actor. I just don't got time to watch everybody, bro.
I feel you know what? I say the same thing because people ask me, you know, do I watch? Oh, you got it, Brad? No, people ask me the same thing, you know, and I don't be wanting to disrespect, you know, like Japanese wrestling or TNA or anything like that. But I'm like, man, I'm a grown man. I got a job. You know, it's not like I dislike, but if I say anything remotely negative towards, you know, one of these organizations, man, they come at me, man. They just come at me like crazy. And right now, they coming at you. Everybody coming at you right now. Over perhaps, you know, something. I don't think it's any real meaning as far as why people coming out after you. I mean, everything you say seems like it has a meaning behind it. It seems like you're just trying to make a point. It seems like it's constructive most of the time when I hear you talk about it. And these days, the truth hurts so much when you tell people the truth. It's hard for people to actually digest it and say, you know what, maybe you got something here. And when you actually made the comment about Tony Khan and Tony Khan came back at you the way he did, you know, what was your first thought?
Well, Tony had already dissed me like 2 weeks prior or something like that. He had a tweet because I had a typo. All I had was a typo in a tweet. And AEW fans took it and ran with it. That's just the nature of Twitter. So I laughed it off. Then I see Tony Khan Tweet at me, O'Shea Jackson Jr., you know ball. And so I'm like, this can't be a compliment. Ain't no way. It ain't no, like, I can feel when I'm being dissed. And I was like, I'm being set up somewhere. I need to, let me get my bearings real quick. And then so on top of that, and I had already did the Van Vliet interview way before. So like that came out super late. So then it looked like I'm still talking about him. And I'm being cool. I'm just trying to enjoy myself. And then the Van Vliet come out, they do the little clip, they don't show the entirety ever, of course.
Yeah,
Sure.
They don't show where before then I spoke about how I wished CM Punk worked out in AEW, which, let's be real, y'all, was the biggest draw, how I wanted that to work out for Punk and for AEW. They don't show that I've hit some wrestlers when they get injuries, checking on them because I watch. But they took that clip. He took it as me, I guess, being disrespectful because the tweet telling me to open up my horizons or whatever it said. And even then, I retweeted that and told him everything that I said was just because I want to see AEW grow, Tony. God bless. I'm not trying, like, I got homies over there. I got people I care about from WWE over there. And if that falls, they don't eat. Right. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to go at or destroy any company. I'm just a fan speaking my mind. I just got a cool job, so everybody wants to listen to me.
I feel you, man. I feel you. When I saw the clap back, I was like, man, this dude just. And me personally, I've never been one to go in on Tony Khan or anything like that because he's a businessman. He's trying to build a company, and the last thing I want to do is step on that because, like you say, it's definitely providing jobs and taking care of people's families at the end of the day. And for me, it's like Tupac. Any brother getting paid, I'm down for it, man. No, I'm serious, man. I'm down for any brother that's getting paid, and he's definitely doing that. You talk about the friends that you've accumulated in the business. Guys like CM Punk. How did these relationships start? I mean, were you a fan of CM Punk?
Oh, hold on, I'm getting a little technical.
Okay.
Little freeze on me. One second.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah. I see.
Were you a fan? I tell you what. Brad, you there? We got to take a quick break. This is radio. This is ESPN 97590. Guys, we got to take a quick break. We got O'Shea Jack. I got caught up. We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up, Blue Chew. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you could take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it, and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Oh, yeah, man. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I just want to remind everybody in the Houston and surrounding areas, Texas City, Reality of Wrestling, Last Stand, Rumble going down this Saturday night. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out, guys. We sold out. But just for you guys, we're going to put out a few more seats because we want to get you in there, man. We want to get you in there. Standing room only and all that. Boogeyman is going to be there. Maven is going to be there. Promise Braxton is back. GG Ray is back. The Diamonds champion, Mia Friday, is going to be taking on Rochelle Chanel #5. You don't want to miss out. Hey, man, we chopping it up with O'Shea Jackson right there, man. We're going to get right back into it. Talking about the friendships that you picked up along the way in the wrestling business, CM Punk being one of the guys. Me and Punk, we go way back. CM Punk, I brought him to my independent wrestling company before he was the chick magnet, before he got all the fame and all the glory. You know what I mean? So I've always been cool with CM Punk, but I've been critical at the same time. Every time I had something on my mind, just like, say, for instance, when CM Punk made his arrival into AEW, I said, man, I really think he missed the boat on the promo. I said, man, I thought the promo could have been so much more passionate towards AEW. I posted to WWE, and man, they went off on me. They said, who's the greatest promo in the world? I get it. People love CM Punk. And I'm not against that, but I'm one that's going to make sure I say what's on my mind. But I love CM Punk. He's a guy that I've always felt a certain way about. How did you and CM Punk become friends?
Man, the same way I be getting in trouble on Twitter. That blue check mark, go a long way. And I know you see it if I tweet you. So, I hit him up because I saw some kind of way. I saw that he was a fan of my father's music. So I hit him. I was like, yo, if you ever in town, I'll hook you up. We can meet at a show or something. He was like, all right. We exchanged numbers, and then we started talking wrestling. And now we getting in back and forths. And then later on, he signed with AEW. I'm checking on him there, wishing him luck, all that, yada, yada, yada. Some drama goes down.
Oh, really? I didn't hear anything.
And, I'm getting in back and forths with him on that. But what he did for me that stuck out, I did a movie called, oh my God, I'm saying this on the radio. I did a movie called Cocaine Bear. And, I was at the premiere, and my parents couldn't make it. It was just me, my brothers, and my best friend and my girlfriend. And when I got a small group like that, when I don't have my family there, it feels a little awkward. I get a little bit back in that shell I was talking about. And I hit him, see if he was down to come through that night, and he showed up for me. And it's just, it's gestures like that, just having my back, being down for me like that. We had, the concert thing never happened. This was our first time, like, having a situation where we meeting up. And he had my back. He showed up for me. And ever since then, he didn't have to do it. He ain't like, I'm hitting you to show up to a random movie. Right. But he showed me he was a real dude. And every conversation that we had, he tell it like it is. He's a straight shooter. He does not hold back. And I get a laugh out of that. But I know the conversations that we've had. I know I get online at the time, not as much recently, seeing people trash your homie all day, you can't help but I gotta swat flies when they come in the house. It's so hard for me to just let people be wrong. And yeah, so I got Phil back. He had mine.
Bro, you be fighting, man. I'm serious, man. You be doing those, bro. I'm like, man, calm down. Now, it seemed like it's something that you really, really are passionate about, as far as, not just watching it, but watching it from a perspective to where you walk away with something. You talk about that soap opera, man. I used to watch, that's my
Take your pills, Book.
that's my stopwatch. Go ahead.
I thought you had a
I
beat.
used to, I used to,
Book's still carrying around a pager, man. He's really living in the night.
gotta go down to school, man, later on. But nah, man, I used to. Why you made me lose my train of thought, man?
Soap
Well,
opera.
I wanted.
No,
to ask,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I used to watch those soap operas, and they made me feel a certain way. When I watched the soap operas, I was a big fan of General Hospital. All My Children, stuff like that. And when I watched it, man, even to this day, I think back to those times. I was like, man, what the hell was I thinking about? But I got caught up. I got caught up in the stories. Is it something that you ever, thought about delving into as far as writing for a wrestling company or anything like that?
Absolutely. I before I was an actor, I went to USC, University of Southern California, for screenwriting. That was the dream. That's what I wanted to do. And in the middle of my second year, Pops is like, they're taking this NWA movie seriously. And I'm like, man, that's dope, Dad. I'm happy for you. And he's like, nah, bro. I kind of need you to audition to play me. And I was like, all right, can I leave school? And now I'm an actor. So, like, it's always been my passion to write, to create stories. And I still have it in me. Like I said, I'm working on a few shows right now and a few movie scripts of my own to kind of get that writer's cred, that producer's cred. So, yeah, it's easy for me to see a story. It's easy for me to get really invested. Bro, you had me back in the day so mad at Kurt Angle. I was ready to kill Kurt Angle. I was like, dude, this dude's an Olympic hero. Now he just want everybody's wife. What's going on? I was so hot. So yeah, it's a key.
That was a crazy angle right there. But that's the beauty of art, man. That really is the beauty of art, is to have you in that emotional state, where you really want to, jump in the ring. If you suck or you want to jump over the barrier. And that's what made me gravitate to wrestling. I was a dancer. I was a drum major in school. I never played sports or anything like that, So when I got into wrestling, it was perfect for me, because I love entertaining and making fans feel a certain way, no matter what that feeling was. I always said the ultimate feeling for me as a professional wrestling was to see if I could make a real tear well up in a fan's eye, roll down their cheek, because I'm getting the hell beat out of me or something, And when I've seen that, man, it made me so happy that it let me know that I was doing my job. But go ahead, Brett.
No, you were talking just then. I mean, I was going to ask you about CM Punk, but you were talking about.
I can't even see his screen.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me though? Can you hear me?
Can you hear him? Can't hear him?
No, he been froze since I got here.
Brad, you froze. You've been froze.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he's got a Boo Fun hairdo. He's a young Ryan Seacrest.
Okay.
There you go.
There he
Can you
is.
see me now?
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah,
Hey, but what I was going to ask you, talking about booking in the Kurt Angle story from back in the day. What
Brad?
What era is your favorite in wrestling? Like, what's your favorite era?
I mean, it's hard for me not to love the Attitude. That's where all my memories are. That's when I was going to school. Like, did you see that? That's when the lunch table was rocking, and it's just so nostalgic. Even now, my sister Karima is really like my wrestling encyclopedia. She decided, I think 2020, to just go back and watch every Raw she could, every SmackDown in order. So she's relived all of it, and it's been quite the journey. And to see that Attitude Era, it brings me back home, you know. And I understand that the company got a little bigger. They gotta sell shirts to these kids. I get it, but that it's just, to a lack of a better word, it was just so raw. It was just so in your face. I miss flash photography. I miss seeing y'all on the turnbuckle and seeing that lightning in the crowd, seeing all those signs, knowing damn well no one can see a thing.
Yeah.
How many arguments happen in the crowd because people won't put their sign down? Like I love that era so much.
To me, though, I know the Attitude Era. I know we got to take a quick break. But before we go to the break, the Attitude Era was the best era, I think, in wrestling of all times by now. But I do think the WWE right now is trying to get back to that just a little bit. Of course, with the Bloodline storyline, and of course now with The Rock coming back. We got to talk about that. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. You dig it, sucker!
You are listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Out. When you come to the WWA, this is what you're going to have to face right here. It's the GI Bro.
Well, let me tell you something, Steve, baby. I've been noticing all these big guys like the Super Collider, the Warrior, this Thor. Well, let me... First things first, man. I got a new haircut. Would you like to see it, man?
Yeah, I want to see. All right.
G.I. Bro. G.I. Bro is my name. And beating people up is my game. Look in my eyes. Everybody in the WWA, I just want you to know one thing. The G.I. Bro is ready, willing, and able to take on all comers in the WWA. That means everybody. Thor, Cherokee Warrior, Super Collider, mainly because I seen what you did. You came out, you tore the sign up, you ripped it out of my little private's hand, and you stripped it in two, man. That's something you don't do. You don't mess with my little privates, man. It's a war. Let me tell you, when I get you in the square circle, when I get you in the combat zone, when I get you in the ganking zone, that's when I'm going to declare World War III on you and take you clean out on the team, man. Ah!
That made my day.
Welcome to the Hall of Fame. It's a young Booker T, man. It's a young Booker T fresh out to wrestling school.
What's your reaction to that one, O'Shea?
That's my first promo.
Bro, the strength it takes for you to tell somebody, don't you touch my little private. That is, man, you a national hero.
Bro, I just took some shrapnel, man. I was over in Grenada, took some shrapnel, man. It was all about the people.
That is amazing. Put it on a shirt.
You don't mess with my little privates, man.
Hey, man, we'll put you in the ganking zone. It's going to be hard.
Oh, man. Wait till I tell my...
You know, I've been listening to that cube, talking about the ganking zone and all that stuff.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh, my God, man. No, I'm talking about the bloodline, man. The bloodline storyline has definitely been something that has propelled the storyline back into the forefront, because this story has been going for quite some time. And now with The Rock coming back, I don't know if you got a chance to see The Rock cut his promo on Friday Night SmackDown, but I tell you, if you haven't watched it, you got to go back and check it out, because it was nostalgic. It actually took me back to the Attitude Era, what The Rock will be talking about poontang pie. So I was like, what do you think about the bloodline storyline that's going on right now, especially with Cody Rhodes?
Man, I love it. Anybody who's been following me knows that since 2020, I've been down for everything that's been going on since Roman got back from his hiatus. And I remember the first when he came in the ring and he speared the Fiend. Rest in peace, Bray. I think one of my first tweets was, "Man, the big dog got some new teeth." Because
I noticed that tall, fresh.
Well, he was shining.
Oh yeah, man.
And people always have something to say about Roman and taking time off or whatever it is. They forget how the Usos, how well they held things down during those Thunderdome times, during those times when it was just a bunch of screens and no one knew what the WWE was going to do, or AEW for that matter. It was, the world was on pause, and those dudes were going out there and putting on mini movies for us, and something about those times, I think, with not having a crowd, being able to hear every little thing that they're saying in the ring, allowed the storytelling to have details and little things added that we don't really get when a crowd is roaring. And Roman was on our TV every week, giving us the best story in the business. And I'm not, I appreciate Cody Rhodes. I am a fan of Cody Rhodes, but I cannot cheer for Cody Rhodes when he's going up against our tribal chief, bro. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll cheer for Cody any other time, but no, not against Chief. I can't do it. He held it down.
Were you looking forward to seeing that Rock versus Roman match? Did you want that more than Cody and Roman rematch at this year's Mania?
Well, I've been looking for that match since all this started. I've been looking for my old favorite and my new favorite to clash since WrestleMania was in Tampa Bay. And I've been talking about this, and I get it. Things change and people cry online and little petitions and all of that noise. But I feel like the Bloodline story isn't finished yet. I feel that anybody who's seen me on these other podcast shows knows that in my mind, after Roman passes Hulk Hogan and becomes the longest reigning champion of the WrestleMania era, that's the perfect bow to put on this story that you've invested almost 4 years in. You made the guy the most WrestleMania main events, and the story of him having the longest reign in the WrestleMania era. I mean, it's in his name. His name is Roman Reigns. It goes with everything. It goes so perfect. And then you have the perfect anti-Cena. Cena was this babyface that they just would not let go of, and they made him the 16-time champion, tying Ric Flair's record. So you have the guy who's had the belt the most times versus the guy who's had it the longest. You got the ultimate face on this side. You got the ultimate heel. And so that would fuel a debate for generations in my mind. Which is better, Cena's multiple titles or Roman's reign? And I just feel like the perfect bow on that would be him getting Hulk's record of longest in the WrestleMania era. And then with Cody, what I was speaking on that ended up being in a Tony Khan tweet was, in my mind, the WWF made Survivor Series in a way to spite Cody's dad, because he had Starrcade, and Starrcade ran November, and they didn't want anything to just run November, so they made up Survivor Series. So you made this pay-per-view to spite my father. It's one of the big four. What's a better place for you to win the belt that they never gave your daddy? In the pay-per-view that they made just to spite the man. And if it's at Madison Square Garden, that is the perfect ending to his story. Plus, Roman gets his. That's a win-win, baby. And they don't want to hear that. I make too much sense out here for this.
No, that's damn good, Book.
That's, you know, I always say I never like booking the show, but that's pretty good booking right there. Let me know that you are invested, as well as you know the history of everything that's going on. You talk about Roman Reigns and Roman's reigns. I tell you, I don't think it could have been anybody that could have pulled it off other than Roman Reigns. And even though we got a plethora of talent in the WWE, we got so many guys that could go out there and perform at the highest level. But I always looked at Roman Reigns as the guy. As far as I'm looking at it from a trainer's perspective, I'm looking at it from a in-ring performer's perspective. And Roman Reigns, the one thing that I see with him more than anybody else is everybody that he works with, he makes those guys better than before they actually went in the ring with him. He actually make them look better as far as having the best match that they perhaps have ever had on the card, no matter who it is. Roman Reigns has gone out there and he stepped his level of performance up to the utmost. Being champion, they always say being champion make you 30% better. Well, he was double champion, so it probably made him about 60%. You know what I'm saying? But talk to me about Roman and as far as how dominant have this run been for him.
Oh man, he is the best villain. Is the villain you love to hate. Yeah, and there's just nothing that'll make me hate him. He's Vader. He is Darth Vader. You know, right. His music sounds like a Final Fantasy boss.
Yeah,
the dude is just oozing charisma. You believe him. You believe him.
Yeah.
He never says something that I just was like, that was forced. And just the way that he works the crowd. There's a compilation out that I post every few months of him just trash talking the crowd. And I'm just thinking, how do you hate this man? Like, you people are on the wrong side of history, you know? And it's all right, you know, some people are just made for silver medals, you know, but I'm not the two, baby. We the ones. Come on, bro.
Okay. You invested, you fully acknowledgement of the tribal chief. No doubt, man. Jimmy and Jay definitely been doing a hell of a job. Those guys, they actually came through my wrestling school, got their finishing touches, and they've added so much to this story. At the same time, Main Event Jay has definitely stepped up his game. Jimmy has definitely rose to the occasion. What do you think about Jimmy and Jay Uso?
Man, I love those dudes. When I first started going to WWE events, and you know they when you're a guest at WWE, they bring you backstage. You can steal some food from catering. And,
it was good too.
Hell yeah.
And man, those dudes were the first people to kind of show me love when I got back there. And you know, I met their pops, you know, who's a legend. Shout out Rikishi. And they just always were so welcoming to me. Yeah. And I appreciated that. First of all, as a fan, I don't think about who I am at all when I get back there. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah,
you know, so you just kind of like, you in a bit of a shell. And they've been my boys ever since. I'll never go against them either. I think they're the best tag team in the world. You know, I hate that they're not together. I know that's got to be a weird feeling, you know, being twins always with each other, to be separate. But, yeah, I'll always cheer for the Usos, even if for whatever reason they both decide to go against my tribal chief. I can't, you know, it's they my dogs. They always have me in their corner.
It's gonna circle back, man. It's gonna circle back. I like the story as well. Those boys definitely have me. I said they're gonna break. My brother and I said, man, you guys gonna break our record. I said, y'all, you guys are definitely that good. And I'm so proud of Jimmy and Jey Uso. I just want those guys to hear that. We gotta take another quick break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame, man. We'll be back in a minute.
Matt Damon, obviously everyone knows Matt Damon.
Yeah, Knobs beat him up.
Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly
Knobs. That's a true story. That's not allegedly.
Knobs actually. Okay, wait, hold on. So I was about to go somewhere else, but we'll get back to the Matt Damon story about Avatar. I've always heard this. They were at some bar where in Boston,
somewhere, I can't remember where it was.
And Matt Damon happened to be there, and the Nasty Boys and some of the other boys were there. And what he and Knobs. What happened? What happened?
Look, I don't know exactly what happened, but my brother was there. Knobs beat up Matt Damon in the bar. And the thing is, they probably didn't know who Matt Damon was. Knobs and Sags, probably didn't know who Matt Damon was. Matt Damon was just a kid back then. He was just getting started. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like he was the same guy that played Django. That was Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yes.
Well, you know, they both look kind of alike.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
You just messing with me. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. You just putting up all my bloopers today. I'm just throw
Django did you watch?
I was feeling good that night, man.
A little too good.
You had a
little too good. You know, I got something. We're talking about the Bloodline story, and I want your fan perspective on this one, O'Shea, because a lot of people have been making a lot of talk about it on Twitter. With The Rock, when he throws the ones up for the Bloodline, he's making an L the whole time. I don't know if you've noticed this, but people keep bringing this up. Do you think that's significant, or you think The Rock is just doing it wrong?
If you do something twice, you're doing it on purpose.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't. First of all, we all speculated that at some point they're going to have to clash, because we know we all want Rock versus Roman. It's got to happen some kind of way. So I think everybody's just on pins and needles of like, this is it. This is when it's going to go down. And we're all fantasy booking. And I don't see a world where that doesn't happen at WrestleMania. Therefore, why you're telling me that a double cross is going to happen at this Mania, and they're going to have multiple encounters all the way to the next Mania, and it's going to still have the same weight? I just don't think the double cross is going to happen as soon as people think, because logistically, that's a long time away, bro. So it's definitely internet food. It's full of speculation, and nobody will tell me a thing. I keep trying to pry and ask. Don't nobody know what's going on. First, it was going to happen at Elimination Chamber. Now it's pushed. It's all crazy. So it's troubling times, because we know at some point the Bloodline is going to have to come to its conclusion. I just don't want it to happen until we get that record, man. So I'm just being ignorant.
so you saying if you booking the show, everybody's been waiting, since Cody made his return back to the WWE, getting this story done, finishing the story. It didn't happen last year. Everybody's highly anticipating that going down this year. Of course, the news broke that it was going to be Roman versus Rock. You was okay with that, but then they pulled the trigger and switched it back around, and now Cody's going to be, going against Roman. You saying you would have left it the same way, Rock versus?
100%. I'm not about to fold for y'all. What y'all going? What you gonna do? You can dislike it all you want. You can send me all the tweets, all the little emails y'all sent. So what? All right.
Yeah.
We all know Cody Rhodes is going to be the face of this company. You gotta wait another 8 months. Shut up. So what? What you gonna do? Time is gonna pass anyway. So and then you made Seth look like a lunatic because he went out, did this monster promo talking about Dusty and all that stuff, and even made him tweet out that compilation video and all that. And then now he just forgot that Cody just dissed your belt. Like, now you got Seth looking crazy, coming to his side and stuff, when this dude just took your WrestleMania moment for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah,
He beat you the first one, knocked you out the Rumble for the second one, and now he taking it again. So you got Seth looking like a lunatic out here. So yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but you gotta agree that it was a boatload of backlash when The Rock did step in and take that spot away from Cody after Cody, I guess, earned that spot by winning the Rumble. I mean, it would have been kind of hard, even though Cody said he was giving that spot up. We saw the backlash from that. That had to be the hardest thing, for Cody to have to just think about this from a realistic perspective. You win the Royal Rumble and then you give your spot up to somebody else, which you actually.
I think he's frozen. There he goes. There he goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear my question?
The last thing I heard was, just with the backlash.
Yeah, I'm saying, looking at it from a realistic perspective, Cody goes out and earns that win in the Royal Rumble, and then comes out and say, I'm going to give my spot up and give it to somebody else. That's not realistic, is it?
Yeah, it definitely had its holes. It made you question his logic, but it's something that, number one, first and foremost, obviously, by winning the Rumble, he should get that match. Number two, I have a heel internet persona I got to keep alive, Book. All right? And I can't do that.
I ain't trying to take it away from you, man. I
can't do that.
No, I'm just keeping it real, man. I'm just keeping it real because for me, I try to always keep wrestling in the context of just like when I was a kid, okay? I used to go to the Sam Houston Coliseum right here in Houston, Texas, watch Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, Ted DiBiase, Junkyard Dog. I knew what wrestling was. I knew it was entertaining, but those guys made it as real as they possibly could to me. So when I look at angles and I see Cody, win that Rumble, point at the WrestleMania sign, it's on, and then The Rock come in, boom, upends everything. Me as a fan, I'm like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. The Rock, you'll get your chance but then somewhere along the line, somebody said, well, maybe we need to, rethink this thing. Maybe we need to, look at this from a different perspective. Somebody thought about that in order for it to get switched back. So for me, the thing with Cody getting this shot, it all falls under that umbrella for me. We got to keep this thing in context. We got to keep it. We just can't do something for Roman and The Rock just because, we trying to do it for Roman and The Rock. That's just my opinion as a promoter, as a, small business owner with a small company like Reality of Wrestling. And I work real hard for my wrestling. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just talking from that perspective.
I feel that. And, I also look at it like, obviously, everybody thought he was going to choose Roman because of what happened the year prior. The man is on Raw. The Raw belt is on Seth. I'm not mad at you for picking the belt on the show that you own. And also, I think a large part of it was probably, if I'm Netflix and I just paid $5 billion with a B, you telling me the number one guy is Roman, the number two is Cody, Punk is hurt. I don't get nothing. Cody's about to go to SmackDown if he wins that title. I don't get nothing. Seth got hurt. I don't get nothing. No, Rock, I need you to get in there, bro. We need to switch this up, baby. Come on, dog. I just paid $5 million. But we're here now.
Let's talk about this.
Call them crybabies.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Me personally, I had said something like this could happen probably before anybody else did, because I said, blood is thicker than water. All right. As far as the storyline that we got going on right now with The Rock siding with, the family, which for me, it was perfect. It was a perfect setup to turn The Rock heel, one thing, but then to turn on Cody Rhodes, because that's just adding just so much more fuel to this thing, as well as giving Cody Rhodes the ultimate rub. And that's what this business has truly been about since day one, as far as guys like The Rock coming in and being able to give someone like Cody Rhodes the rub at the same time. It's always been about passing that torch. Everybody always talk about, The Rock coming back and taking somebody's spot. And I see this totally different, as far as The Rock being that guy coming in for a reason. And that reason is to put wrestling in that ultimate light all over again. And for Rock to turn heel, that right there, I think that meant more than, the match, as far as Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. That's just my opinion. Do you agree with that?
I mean, right now, you can feel the weight. You can feel the aura when the dude is scheduled to be there. It really is. And I think that's helping the story as well. Everybody's waiting to hear what Rock got to say. It's kind of, the match is getting a little gray. It's fading a little bit, and that's playing into the story. You see the facial expression on Roman, the facial expression on Solo, Heyman peeping.
Yes.
And that's the power of the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
Oh, you jiving, man. We got to take another break, man. We got O.J. Jackson in the Hall of Fame talking about spend some knowledge, man, as well as get a little champagne, a little caviar drinks. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Do not forget, it's going down this weekend. Reality of Wrestling Last Stand Rumble. I'm talking about 30-man Rumble. 30 will enter, 1 will walk out. And the new heading to Summer Champions, the road to Summer Champion. Cannot wait for that. It's going to be our biggest event of the year. We plan on getting at least 25 to 3,000 people this summer, guys. So don't miss out. Don't get shut out, because it's going to be on like a steaming pot of neck bones. Cooking, man. But right now, we got O.J. Jackson.
Who was that?
House, man. Huh?
Who was that on that video y'all just played?
That was Promise Braxton.
Yeah, that's Promise Braxton. That's
Bro,
one of our
anybody who is wrestling with a mouthpiece is a lunatic. You got to watch out for them. All right, they plan to get hit. All right, anybody who's planning to get hit,
Bro.
they do the hitting.
Oh man, she just
Physical.
she just took a trip to Japan. She just got back. Her along with Gigi Ray, both of my girls just got back from a tour in Japan, and she is definitely one to watch. She is the next, perhaps, to leave reality wrestling and make that trek to the WWE somewhere. I'm talking about the big time, man. I'm talking about that paper, baby. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, especially at reality wrestling. You know, we call ourselves the AAA of professional wrestling. We try to make sure we get those guys and girls in there, give them that talent, that knowledge, and then, you know, try to let them spread their wings and do like I did, man. I got a chance to go around the world and see it, man. And I tell you, man, I never paid for a trip. Never paid for a trip. And it felt good. It felt damn good. Hotels, everything, man. First class all the way, man. But you got to work for it. So I just want to say I appreciate Promise. Congratulations to Promise and Gigi for a successful tour to Japan, because they were there for what, couple of months?
Couple months, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Japan, a couple of months, you got to be grinding, bro. You got to be grinding because you're on that bus. You know, you going from one town to the next town. You're wrestling in cities where it's cold. I mean, the arenas are cold. There's no air conditioner or anything like that. I mean, in the summer, it's a grind, man. But it's something as a young wrestler, you definitely want that experience, man. I definitely had that experience. 21 days, I couldn't wait to get back home.
Wait, something I've been dying to ask you for a while. So SummerSlam 2001, you going up against Rock. There's a moment in that match, you fall into the turnbuckle, bounce off, Rock hits you with a DDT. You land a little funny. There's a count, and you do not move, bro.
Yeah, I didn't kick out. Yeah.
You was out?
Yeah. I didn't kick out. Yeah, I was. It was a mistake, or I was out one. Yeah.
There was no movement.
No, I didn't kick out.
I think Booker's blacked out right now.
No, I tell you, man, that was everybody. Talk to me about that match. They say, man, it was a really good match. You and The Rock, and the thing is, Rock even put me over. He said, man, you know, I was one of the best he ever worked as far as going out and performing at the highest level. But when I came in, you got to understand, in 2001, I was just coming from WCW. You know, I was the WCW guy, and I was in the ring with the Golden Child. You know, and so my mind was totally in a different place. I remember going over that match with The Rock, and The Rock he was such a meticulous worker. You know what I mean? Everything had to be spaced a certain way. And I remember that day in that match, I had so much stuff in my head that I was just trying to remember. I had tunnel vision to the point that I do not remember anything in that match at all.
I've heard people describe that feeling before. I feel that. I thought you was in trouble. I was concerned. I was like, oh my God, I think Booker T is thinking sleep.
It definitely wasn't my greatest moment. And I say this too, you know, I always say, man, I go back and I say, you know, man, I just wish I would have beat the hell out of The Rock like I normally would have. You know, that was my thing. I was thinking about protecting him. I was thinking about not really going out there and letting it all hang out. You got to understand, it was an episode happened when I first came into WWE, my debut. I jumped over the rail, picks up Stone Cold Steve Austin, lands on the table, bounces off the table to the floor, breaks 3 bones in his back. So I was feeling a certain way when I first got to WWE, as far as I got to figure out how to make this thing work. And you know, I think that was my situation more than anything.
When did you start? Like, I know whenever I go on sets, it takes me about 2-3 weeks with a character to really feel like I got my sea legs, or, you know. So like, when is a moment where you like, oh, I'm here now? Like, this is what it is. I feel comfortable.
Well, I mean, it took me a minute to really, you know, find my place in WWE, because coming from WCW, it was a business. I was going into a machine now, you know, where I got like 3 producers, and then I got an agent, and I got like 4 or 5 different people telling me 4 or 5 different things, and they're all different, and it's what not to do. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? So I remember I'm going to the boss, and the boss, I told him, look, I know if I do it this way and do it that way and do it this way, I'm going to get fired. I say, so if you don't mind, just letting me go out there and do my thing my way, and if I don't put asses in the seats, just fire me. All right. I took that approach. I got a rule. When you're 99%, you keep your mouth shut. And when you're 100%, you speak up 100% of the time, but you might get fired. But, you're banking on yourself. And I think that's when I really started letting go. And I just really started to perform, entertain, and be the best, version of myself that I could be. And from that point on, man, it was a hell of a run, man. It was as well as I knew I had made it when one day I got to the arena. All the boys dress in the locker room. It's this one big locker room, and maybe 40 wrestlers in there, more. And I remember getting to the building one day, and the Undertaker, he saw me going into the locker room, and he said, "Hey, Book, why don't you come dress over here with us?" And it was this little spot called the TV locker room, to where it was only like 6 or 7 stars, in this locker room. So I was like, "Oh, I made it.
Okay.
I'm in the club." You know what I mean? But I tell people all the time, you got to know how to make it in the locker room before you can make it in the ring in professional. And I'm sure that's in all genres, in all business forms, I would imagine.
Yeah, man.
That's dope, man. Taker, that's huge, bro.
I wanted to ask though something to both of you, because news came out today, and with O'Shea being such a big bloodline guy, and Book, you go way back with this man, the wise man, Paul Heyman. They announced he's going into the Hall of Fame in Philadelphia. What do y'all both think about that? O'Shea, start with you. What do you think? Paul Heyman more than deserving to go into the Hall of Fame? I think it's safe to say.
Absolutely. If you were to make a stable of just Paul Heyman guys,
wow,
they'd never lose. Like there's no way to completely articulate everything that guy has done, especially in a speech. I know my dad hates when they give him lifetime achievement awards, because he's like, man, I'm still going. Y'all gonna give me a second one when I'm done with this chapter? And part of me is like, listen, man, he might be a 2-time Hall of Famer. He still is just box office. He sees things differently. There's certain people that just got the vision, and that dude, he is where he was supposed to be in life. There was no other road. Like, this is where the wrestling business was made for Paul Heyman. So this is more than deserving.
Before I get to my answer, are you going to be at WrestleMania? All right. Okay, I'm just making sure. No, as far as Paul Heyman go, man, I've always said it. Paul Heyman's a genius. He's a guy that his knowledge is vast as far as this business goes, and it's been that way for a very, very long time. It goes back to when Paul Heyman had hair. It was slim and trim. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm serious, man. I mean, this dude has been around for you go back and look at some of the young pictures of Paul Heyman when he's a very, very young man to now, and just watch the evolution of Paul Heyman. I talk about what he did with ECW and created a monster of a company with a bunch of guys who really were not that great of workers. He really honed in on making those guys look better than they could ever make themselves look, just through the magic of television, the way he edited that show back in ECW. And I was like, well, I learned so much from Paul Heyman to this day. And he's one of my favorite people. And as far as one being deserving of stepping into the Hall of Fame, he's deserving of more so than many. to step inside the Hall of Fame. And I just want to say congratulations to one Paul Heyman, one of my favorite people. We got to take one more break, man. Oh, shit, man. You've been awesome, man. Stick around, man. We're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Let me tell you something, Cowboys. Trick Williams has never been outnumbered. Look at me, I'm 6'4", 235. Got 8 ass, 3 chains, 2 women, and 2 feet to kick you up and down the ring. You Cowboys better do the math.
Oh, those stats do not lie.
It said 205 pounds on WWE. I don't believe it. And you, dressed in your leather, and your bedazzles, and your white shoes.
You do not.
And all the way.
Oh, here we go. He said it earlier. Texas size ass whooping. And it's now Trick Williams with that pop-up uppercut.
Yee-haw, Rhinestone Cowboy. Here we go.
Trick kick connects to JP Harlow.
Thank you kindly, Trick Williams. Woohoo!
Trick Williams making quick work of JP Harlow and Joey Hyder. As he's right, we still got our main event going on. Coming up next.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. You know, man, what, Brad? What you
I know O'Shea shaking his head at. He's like, I
Yo,
can't believe he
yo,
snapped on a
bro.
sneaker.
You're gonna step on my shoes, bro. Trick had to make him read these Nikes.
Trick Williams, man, one of my favorite people, man. I love working with Trick Williams down in NXT. Speaking of NXT, just speaking of WWE in general, and we were talking about the Attitude Era. Attitude Era was good. We had some stone cold, bad mama jammers. Let's just say it that way, in the Attitude Era. But this era that we're in right now, the ladies have stepped it up. And I tell you, man, a whole lot of hottie biscottis as well, man. I'm talking about give me a cup, on a regular. What do you think? I'm serious, man. It's hard. It's hard. What do you think about the ladies' situation in the WWE right now?
There's not like
From NXT all the way to the main roster.
right now, and even with the 4 horsewomen coming in, it has been some of the best matches on cards has been provided by the ladies. I know I felt that Becky versus Trish.
Oh man, cage match,
dude.
Man,
I was like, first of all, everybody, you had a couple of people on Twitter, obviously downplaying it. You got to see what they're gonna bring, and my God, they stole the show.
Man.
And it's a different time, and the ladies are bringing it. And a lot of times they are so refreshing to watch when obviously there's a formula that you see in matches, and that the ladies know when they go out there, we got to bring it. We got to do something to bring it, because they didn't come this far just to get this far. Yeah. And you got main event and manias. I love Bianca Belair. I got a daughter, and she sees me watching wrestling, didn't pay it no mind until she saw Bianca Belair and she saw Alexa Bliss. When for those two ladies snapped something in my little girl where she looked, she said, "Daddy, I want to do that." And I said, yeah. For real. Like, no, yeah. So we got up, went into the living room. She got behind the little window curtain, I played her music. She come out. She talk trash on her little karaoke machine, and then she beats up her auntie for about 6 matches.
Yeah.
And I'm the rep, and it's amazing, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the resurgence of women's wrestling in WWE, not only WWE but in AEW as well, in other places. I love that there's this new splash in the industry. It is much needed, and I watch every time. Excited.
You know, I got kids too. I got a boy and girl, 13 twins, and
Ooh, twins!
I took
I
my
got
son.
one, bro.
I
So
took my
twins
son.
made me flinch.
I took my just like you say. It was Bianca Belair. You know, pretty much turned your daughter. For me, my son, it was Kyrie Sane. He lost his damn mind. I was like, what is wrong with you? I've never seen him like that before. And I'm like, man, I mean, he's growing up. He's growing up. He definitely was feeling himself with Kyrie Sane, man.
That elbow drop.
The elbow drop, yeah, hell yeah.
Exactly, man. But, you know, I said it as well. At one point, you know, I was talking about, you know, it wasn't about, you know, it was more so about, you know, the ladies having a more stronger roster than the men having a more stronger roster. I mean, the ladies at one point, especially when we did the all women's pay-per-view, it was like, man, the women are really just killing it. And you talk about the matches, you know, Becky Lynch. I've got the chance to watch her up close and personal, and to watch Becky, you know, just like say, for instance, you see her walking through the airport, you might think you're seeing a model, you know, walking through the airport. Because she's so petite. You would never imagine she was one of the most dangerous women. No, but then she came to NXT and she worked with Tiffany Stratton. And I go, God, man, to see her totally manage that matchup, to totally see her be a general in the ring up close and personal. I was like, wow, she is so smart. We got so many women on the roster right now at that upper echelon level that can go out there. Either one of them can be champion and pull the load, really. So for me, the women wrestling right now, I really believe it's bigger than it's ever been. Attitude Era and all. I think the women wrestling right now is bigger and better than it's ever been.
It's so many that you see stardom in. You can see. I can see you being the face of the women's division. That, bro, 2 belts ain't enough for me. Like, you know, people need their shine.
We talked about that.
We can't just throw single stars together and make some random tag team to give them those belts. So, like, the ladies need more hardware, because it's people who need the camera in front of them right now.
You know what, man? We need you working. We got to put you to work. I'm saying, now that's something that Brad has mentioned, you know, many times, as far as we need more belts for the women.
Yeah,
actually be able to go out there and represent. Even though Brad has some bad takes as well, he's a big fan of you know one guy having the 2 belts. You know, at least I kind of talked him off.
Well, especially if he's a tribal chief. I mean, he should have all of them. Give them all to him. Damn it.
I do believe, like I say, the women should get more shine, and they should add a couple more belts, because we do have there again a plethora of women's champions.
It's hard when you want to write a compelling story whenever you got your main championship in the conversation. So now that's what maybe you get a feud going, and it pays off at a pay-per-view, and then you want to get a rematch in. That's about 8 weeks where it's talking about 2 ladies. Like, you need to be able to be able to feed your roster, to kind of switch things up. And I think I think it's time at least for an Intercontinental Championship for the ladies. It's important that you keep them in front of your audience, keep them in the know, it's just a lot of stars that you don't want to see flicker out.
I tell you what, we're getting short on time, but if you ever think about wanting to, delve into writing just to get your feet wet, we'd love for you to come down and be a part of reality wrestling. Watch a couple of reality wrestling shows if you get a chance. I know you're busy, but we're a small company, but we are in 50 different markets. We're growing at an enormous pace. We've been doing this since 2005. We've had our wrestling school. We've had our wrestling promotion now, I guess, maybe for about 12 to 15 years. We just did our 390th show. So we are definitely trying to move in that direction to where we can do some big things in the future. And if you would, I know you're busy, but if you ever want to, come down and be a part of reality wrestling for a night, the road to Summer of Champions, baby. We're up the road and we love.
You are a salesman, bro. It's a walking promo.
It's funny though, Book, that you brought that up because we do have some super chats that came in for O'Shea, some questions people wanted to ask of you. And one of them is just that. This is from Kelly Tony. I said, O'Shea, any aspirations to jump in the ring at Reality of Wrestling? And then he says, thanks for admitting your love for the sport. Many act like they not with it, but you keep it real. Who's one person that's a fan but won't admit it? So there's two questions there. Ooh. Would you jump in the ring? And who's a low-down wrestling fan?
Man, I don't know. They keep it a secret so damn well. I hear a few times like, yeah, man, I used to watch. It seems like I should get back in it. And it's just, you take your time off, but then it always follows you. It always is in the back of your mind. There's no way you can hear a cup smash in the kitchen and it makes you think of Stone Cold. It's just like, it's in you. And so, when I find them, I'll make sure to put them on blast on Twitter. As far as in ring, I can't tell you the name of it, but I have a project coming up at the end of the year, and Booker T, that's when I'm gonna get my R&B body.
All right.
When I get my
12 pack is coming.
I feel you.
Why not? I've been dreaming of it my whole life, so I would be down, and I'm definitely got to stop at ROW.
Awesome.
There you go. Awesome. There's another one though that they were asking. What is the both of you's thoughts on this from Deshaun Steptoe? Booker and O'Shea. What are your favorite Sting match, and what are your thoughts on his final match? Does any Sting moments come to you, O'Shea?
I think the ultimate. By the way, his final match. Kudos to Tony Khan and AEW for that. It was a beautiful send-off. It was everything he deserved. He had moments in there where he got to just be a superhero because a normal man would be dead. I would like to send my thoughts and prayers to Darby Allin.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
We got to get you the help that you so deserve, brother.
Man.
Because I would have not done that either. But yeah, it's when I think of Sting moments, the rafters, him going up against NWO, he that belt should have been on him so many more times than what it was. It just don't get me on a Hulk Hogan rant. Let me just keep it. Good job, AEW, on how y'all handle Sting.
There you go.
Off on Hogan.
What about you, BT?
You know what, man? The one moment that stick out for me with Sting was Sting and I versus the Road Warriors pay-per-view. That right there was something that go down for me as one of my moments. I've had so many moments in this business, and for me to be tagging with Sting, and I got the face paint on. You know what I mean? I'm acting like Sting for a minute. So it was for me. Nah, it was stupid, but it was one of those moments, man, that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Sting and I, we had a lot of great singles matches too. I always loved getting in the ring and work with Sting from a singles perspective because it was always going to be a good match. We was always happy to get in the ring and perform with each other. So big ups to Sting. Congratulations on a hell of a career. Hell of a career. Any more super chats?
Yeah, we got one more. But I love when you're working with Sting and you got the face paint on book and the singlet, and they're acting like they don't know who it is on commentary. And then you hit like the Harlem sidekick, and they're like, "Well, that's a Harlem sidekick. It's gotta be Booker T. That's not Sting." Oh yeah, it was the kick that gave it away. Let's see here. Let's see. We have another one that here just says, well, this was going what O'Shea was just talking about, saying the Darby Allin glass spot was a wake-up call that AEW finally receives important and improves safety massively. That was a scary bump, man. And he was cut all the way up on his back.
Yeah, I heard they gave some kind of injury report on him, and hopefully he's okay.
I hope so, man. Do you ever look at anything, O'Shea, that they're doing at AEW and be like, oh man, that's a little just over the top?
Yeah, it made me. First of all, I'm cool with Swerve, and it was him versus Hangman 2, the Texas Death Match or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I'm texting him before then, like weeks before, and he's like, "Man, you got to make sure you watch. You got to make sure you watch." I'm like, all right. He was like, listen, we storytelling, bro. We about to blah, 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 blah. And so I'm watching, and I'm like, man, I might not ever see this again. But it was, I talk about that match. I talked about it while it was happening. It's still top 10 in my, like, memory bank. That's in my top 10 matches.
It's gonna be in your memory bank. It ain't going nowhere.
But bro, as far as showing somebody who don't know about wrestling that match, they're not ready for that. And, me and my sister were watching Sting's last match, and first of all, you knew climbing up that ladder. When I saw him set up the chairs, I said, he is not going to hit nobody when he jumped down there. There's no way. You set it up, you are telling yourself where to fall. He hit the air. I was like, yeah, there's no Jackson down there. And I was like, all right, maybe it's Sugar. That's a lot of blood for Sugar. And so, yeah, they went a little hard. But that's Darby. That's why they come to see him. I just want them to come see him for years to come. So, thoughts and prayers, bro. Keep it together.
Yeah. Darby Allin and kids, he's been doing it like that for a long time. First time I saw him do that coffin drop, I was like, what the hell is he thinking?
Yeah.
What is this all about? I mean, it's wrestling taking a big turn to the left. But, that's what it is today. These young guys, man, these young girls, they're going to go out there and throw caution to the wind. And they're not going to think about it until they're about 40. And then they're going to be like, what the hell was I thinking?
Bro, they asked me on Twitter a dream match, like we were doing dream matches of AEW versus WWE. And if I could have got prime Shane McMahon with Darby Allin, there would have to be paramedics at the announce table.
They're jumping off everything.
Everything. Who can go higher?
Oh, it's crazy. That's crazy. Sting, before you got to AEW, never jumped off anything, But the thing is, as soon as he signed on this show, right here inside the Hall of Fame, I said, well, Sting's getting ready to jump off something. At that point, he just started jumping. You thought he was New Jack for a minute. I was like, what the hell is he thinking? But nah, man. I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, sharing your knowledge, to the game with us more than anything. You definitely, like I say, well vast as far as, knowing your history, knowing what it means to create a story. There again, I would love to get you down to Reality of Wrestling. Write a scene for us, perhaps just to get your feet wet. And if you want to get in the ring, we can
I gotta get my
Yeah, we
R&B
can make it
vibes,
happen.
bro.
Yeah, we can say, look, yeah, I'll put you on my program. I get you ready. You know, don't worry about that. But we'd love to, have you be a part of reality wrestling anytime you get a chance. Always know that you're welcome to step back inside the Hall of Fame, get your champagne, which is caviar drink. Anytime you want to come back inside the Hall of Fame, you want to say anything to your fans, as well as the fans that perhaps don't like you, but you got anything you want to say to them before you get out of here, man?
First, I gotta say, rest in peace to Virgil.
Yeah.
I learned about just the whole character later in life, of course, and you always got to give big ups to a fellow black man in the industry. So rest in peace to Virgil. Prayers to his family. Y'all can catch me on Twitter. My @ is my name. I'm easy to find. I don't start fights, but I do finish them. And I would gladly cut a promo on your ex.
Can you dig that? Yeah, man, we appreciate you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. I always know you got an open invitation. All my fans out there, all the people that's listening, all the super chatters, we thank you guys. Couldn't do this thing without you. Brad, always getting the heavy lifting done. I couldn't do this without you. And again, guys, until next time, peace. We love you, and we out.